How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith. How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Welcome to another edition of the Tactical Empire. Today I am here with a good friend of mine who probably has the biggest heart of any man I know, Patrick Bolanos, sir. Welcome to the show.
Bro, that intro's got me fired up, baby.
Yeah, that's the first time they've ever played it before, so we're doing things different today, all different.
Oh, shit, I thought I was going to be podcasting with Doug today. I'm like, what happened with Jeff?
Wild Friday morning. You never know what's coming at you.
Yeah,
how are you, brother? How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. Challenges aplenty, but I'm still awesome.
Awesome. I love to hear that. Let's dig into it a little bit. This guy owns probably the biggest custom trailer builder in the country. Trailer Kings Builders out of Houston, Texas. So he's not only a good friend of mine online, he's also right here in my backyard. So I appreciate you coming on today, man, and taking the time. Tell me what you're up to, and I would love to really discuss the industry of food trucks to an extent. And then also like the barriers of entry and what you're doing with, I know you're masterminding and coaching now with regards to these food truck operators and these restaurateurs or aspiring restaurateurs. I want to talk about that journey and like how that's going and what you're seeing with the economy and everything. I want to dig into a bunch of different areas. But first of all, tell us about like what you do and how you got into it and all that shit.
Awesome. Well, if you would have asked me 5 years ago that I would co-own one of the largest food truck manufacturing companies in the world, I would have told you you're fucking stupid. But given what's happened in my life, I've always was a 9-to-5 guy, right? Growing up, went to school and then got jobs, which I scaled and I was pretty good at, but I wasn't the best until I was handed pretty much a situation that I created myself 5 years ago. We started this company. We've been growing since 2018. And, we hit 8 figures last year. 2023 has been a challenging year. Like a lot of the economy is changing for us.
Yep.
And having to navigate, as a new entrepreneur, right? I've helped run businesses before for other people, but it was never mine. I didn't go to bed thinking about, fuck, how the fuck we're going to make payroll? How the fuck? And, things of that nature. And so, 2023 has been challenging, but we're pushing forward. We are producing over 250 projects this year. We have interesting partnerships that we're working on. We just launched our franchising program. We just launched a lease to own partnership program with a couple of companies, one of ours and others that are in the market. So there's a lot of things going on, and we just got to keep on keeping on, I guess.
Sure. I get it, man. Like it, so 8 figures, dude, that's fucking phenomenal. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Are you seeing... See, I think this low barrier of entry into entrepreneurship which I kind of dealt with in my career in the past with these boutique gyms, because you see all these gym owners come in. It's very similar in my opinion, because it's service-based stuff, but like we're doing different things. But you only need $100,000 to get started or whatever, right? It's kind of the same thing in your space with like the barrier of entry being pretty low for these restaurateurs not wanting brick and mortar, right? So you can come in and start your own food truck for what? What's an example of how much a budget would need to be?
To open comfortably, so you got to differentiate what we do, right? We're vertically integrated, which we weren't in the past. We can convert any mobile bus or anything on wheels, we can convert into a food truck. Call it a bus, call it a step van, call it a sprinter, right?
RVs, yep.
Anything. We could gut it, reuse it, and reconfigure it to be a food kitchen. Like we've done school buses, which are 40 feet long. We've cut the roof off and raised it 12 inches and then put it back on. You know, some crazy projects, but we also do trailers. So you could, the trailers we used to buy from a company out of Waco. And now we actually build the trailers from the ground up. We cut the metal, we weld it, we put it together, we skin it. And so you can either decide, you can have a vehicle that you drive, or you could pull a trailer. And for a trailer, on average, $45,000 to get started just for the unit. But that's not all you need to open a business, right? You just, once the unit, you need permits, you need inventory, you need to spend on marketing. And then for a food truck on wheels, anywhere from 60 to 90,000 on a used vehicle, and then 150,000 plus for a brand new truck.
Okay. So do you see this business model growing? First of all, congratulations on all the vertical integration. I think you and I, when we met, you guys weren't doing all that.
No, we weren't.
And so like, it's super fucking smart, dude. And good for you guys with the evolution of your business and continuing to push forward and reinvest, because like that is only going to return itself in spades over the next few years for you guys. I'm sure it's exponentially raised the valuation of your company as well, just because like that's the nature of the beast. So tell me, from a standpoint of the like, your customer base, is it growing? Is it declining? Or what are you seeing from people's like appetite for building? Obviously you're building 250 units in a year, which is fucking more than 20 a month you're putting out. And this is nationwide, so it's not just in the Houston area, but are you seeing more orders coming in, or like industry wide, or are you seeing a decline currently?
So the amount of interest is not declining. Think about the amount of people that think they wake up and they want to start a restaurant, right? Yep. There's chefs, there's people studying culinary arts every single day. They might be deciding to go be an understudy for another chef somewhere, but I guarantee you a lot of them are thinking, I'm going to go start my own shit.
Yeah.
So the interest is not declining. There's enough interest to help people get started in this industry. What we're seeing is the most challenging right now is when we used to be able to approve somebody with a decent credit score and a down payment at X amount or whatever. We're not finding those lenders anymore. Those lenders are not there. They just decided to walk away because it's getting a little riskier for them. Right? Interest rates are going up, so the payments are higher. The risk of it failing is higher now than it is before. So before you could start a trailer at $800 a month. Now you're paying $1,600. So that's the most challenging part right now. And that's why we decided, you called me smart earlier because we vertically integrated, but that kind of, we had to do that shit to survive. So yeah. I guess I benefit from being smart, but just by keep going, right? Just by looking because we had no other choice, man. We had to do it. If not, we would have closed our doors. Yep. So same thing with the lending. We have to find alternative lenders. We have to find people that are willing to risk their money to help people in this industry. I've put up a lot of my own money to help a few of them because I believe in them. I believe in their brand, and I know they can. And there's enough interest to go around.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal, right? And it's also the same in the restaurant space. How many restaurants open on a weekly basis? It's got to be in the hundreds of thousands. Not all of them make it, but everybody wants to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see the interest definitely still being there. So you're saying that the commercial lines of credit are causing issues with you guys as well? Okay. I mean, that's the same thing we're seeing in real estate, obviously.
Well, I'll give you a prime example. I had one lender that used to approve 10 deals a month went from 10 to 0 overnight.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you do? Like, what? And they don't pick up the phone anymore.
Yeah. You build a bank, baby.
That's right. Now we have to build a bank.
Yep.
Now we have to find investors like Jeff Smith to kick over some funds.
I like it. Banking is what the ballers are doing. So like it's the natural progression, babe. So I could see that being difficult. What is the most? What do you? Okay, let me ask this question. So if you were to start a startup food truck, what do you see success in? Is it unique, like experiences that are winning, or is it like old tried and true standard shit that you're selling as far as like fare? I mean, like what's the difference between what's success and what's not success in that space? I mean, the operator is very important. There's no question. But is like personality the key, or is the food the key, or is like the hustle the key? Are they showing up at all the great spots and getting those arrangements so they can park out in front of XYZ Park on a regular basis? What are the qualities of a successful food truck operator coming into the industry?
What I tell everybody that comes in here and that wants to start a food truck, I assume that your food is good because it has to be at least good for people to come back. But if people don't know you exist, they can't buy from you. So I see the winners understand technology, they understand social media, and they understand that game. If they don't understand that game, they're going to suffer from the start because you could get lucky, right? You go open up a spot in front of a gas station and it has a shit ton of traffic and you got lucky, right? Because you were there, people, automatically stop and they eat from your food. But what if you don't have that spot and you didn't get lucky? What if you are mobile? What if you want to, you need people to start following you around? And the highest converting right now social media apps are Instagram and TikTok for food. And there's a ton of foodies making a living from this. And all you have to do is tap into their network, tap into their audience, create videos. Food in itself, the way you make it, the way it's produced, the way you eat it, is enticing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like imagery and video. And so if you're not creating that content and you're not doing that and you don't have the sales, then, sorry, well, there's your problem.
So it's probably extremely difficult to be a mobile operator, right? Because your clients and customers never know where you're at unless you're constantly dropping pins on social media about where you're at on a regular basis.
There's apps for that now too.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
there's apps that people download, like Where's the Food Truck or Best Food Truck or Roaming Hunger, or there's a number of apps that help you find your local food trucs.
Okay.
There's people passionate about eating at food trucks, brother. People are passionate about their food trucks.
Oh, I know. But you have to, it would be a good idea if I were a business owner to be registered with all those apps to make sure I was fucking.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm actually coaching an owner one-on-one. We just started last week. And he reached out to me. He follows me on social media. I've ran a food truck before, but it's not my day-to-day. But what I do know is how to create leads, how to create engagement, how to create views, how to create attention.
Yeah.
So he reached out to me. He's like, man, I don't have the sales. I'm selling $1,000 a week. And the first thing I did was look into his social media. He wasn't existent on Instagram. We couldn't find his profile on Facebook, and he didn't have a TikTok. So I was like, how do you expect people to come to your spot when they don't know you exist, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you got him doing?
Right now, we started first. He wasn't even on Google Maps. I'm like, bro, get on Google Maps, register with the with these apps that you can have people come to your shop. That's your first homework. I want you to be on all these apps, and I want you to be registered on all these things. And next week, which was this Tuesday, I'm going to teach you how to run some ads. I need you to buy a gimbal. I need you to record some videos, take some pictures. You don't have to hire a professional photographer, not yet anyways, but if you do want to get some, it might be worth $150, $250.
Yep.
And then come with me with all that stuff, and we'll create some ads for you. And that's what we did. He didn't know how to create ads. He had paid a marketing company $800 to run his social media, and they had never done anything for him.
Oh, man.
So I was like, bro, you need to fire them, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, and you're going to do it yourself until you don't have the time to do it, and you have the resources to hire someone else.
Is he a one-man band running the truck too?
No, he's got a full-time job. He's got somebody running the truck for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I mean, it's so crazy that people even I don't even know how you'd run a business these days and overlook social media and not think that you need to be out there.
Our success is due to building our machine.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't make it up myself. I learned it.
Right. But I mean, like you built that brand equity and brand capital through just consistency online. And people kind of sell that short for what that can do. But I mean, how many successful people do you and I know that have literally done nothing but just post on social media for 7-8 years? And now all of a sudden they're making shitloads of money. It's because the difference is that they've been consistent for a long period of time. And like your first 3 years kind of suck. And like you start building some momentum, but like the results that these guys have that are out there producing content, adding value, and showing their processes and like a peek behind the curtain, it's incredible when you get to year 5, 6, 7. Like the results are undeniable for these guys. And it's just been because, I mean, the know, like, and trust is undeniable because people are like, well, I can look at what you fucking did every Tuesday for the last 10 years. And so, why do you think that that's not like a natural first step for those people in that space?
Because they don't know the power of what these tools that we were given to us by these programmers. Like, I used Facebook before, like, to do stupid shit on it.
Yeah.
Now I know the power of using it when you're a business owner. And something I was discussing the other day, which is important too, it can be used for good and bad, right? If you know how to fucking convince and influence people and talk a good game, you can create that know, like, and trust factor, but then not deliver the product or the service or the thing that you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
But because bad people also are using it, right?
Yeah.
So it works for everybody. It works even if you, and it's hard to say, but even if you're an asshole, you can make it work for you.
Yeah.
So figure that out and figure it out quick, but don't use it for bad. Use it for good. Create the value, sell the product, deliver on the product and service. And then that's going to help you get more customers. So a lot of people are also uncomfortable, right? When I started doing live videos on Facebook, if you scroll like to 5 years ago, I probably, I sounded like an idiot. I still sound like an idiot today, but now maybe, it flows a little better.
Yeah. You don't sound like an idiot. You've got good content now, man. It's dialed in. But it comes from years of practice, years of repetition, and that. So that was going to be my next question. Do you think it's like just general discomfort that leads them not to do it, or do you think it's like them not being clear on, like, brand building for people is not necessarily natural, right? Like, I coach a lot of business owners. They opened their business because they wanted to serve a certain audience. And like, so they never really thought of themselves or their business being a brand per se, as opposed to just delivering a service. So but branding is literally the most important thing you can do. I preach and teach in my masterminds that like you guys have to have a personal brand, because literally that is that's your new resume. And so like, what do you stand for? What do you do? What experience do you have? I better be able to go find it on the internet and like see it. So like Jeff came from being a gym owner to being a real estate investor to being a fucking coach or whatever, all this other stuff. Like I better be able to go out and find all that stuff. Like I'm raising money right now for a self-storage facility. You think I can ask those guys for $100,000 and then be like, hey, I'm a real estate investor. My name's Jeff Smith. Likely story, motherfucker. And like, but they can, if they can't go find me somewhere and see like proof of concept that I've been investing, that I've got all these properties, that I've done this before, and I've got a track record. If they can't find that, like in a push of a button, it's going to be a no every time, right?
I mean, I would assume so, unless you're like pitching some really dumb people, and there's a lot of them out there. So,
well, I mean, it's just fascinating to me that they also get wrapped around the axle sometimes of like they get very myopic on what they're doing today, and they're like, everybody already knows I do that. And I'm like, yes, but in 5 years, you may want to do something else. And you may want to be something else. And then it goes back to like, who are you as a person? What are your core values? How are you spending your time? Do you have a family? Do you have all this other stuff that should also be captured in that personal brand? And as you make that transition into the next industry, you've got this history of data that like shows people who you are.
Right. Like there's a lot of people that don't even have their Facebook profiles public or Instagram profiles public. What do you got to hide?
Right.
I mean, I get it, right? You want to be private. Okay, fine. You want to be private, but then you're not going to, create that brand, and people are not going to know who you are, et cetera. If you go to my Instagram profile, which you guys just shared a little while ago, I share all kinds of stuff, things that interest me. You'll see golf, you'll see jujitsu, you'll see family, you'll see food trucks. Oh, you'll see sports, football, baseball, those things, right? That's me. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And my family, Nicaragua, food trucks. That's who I am. That's what I share. There is no consistency. Like there is no like, what do you call it? Like a strategy to it. I just share. Whenever I feel like sharing, I'll share and put shit up there.
Well, I think the biggest mistake I made coming into my gym when I first opened it, and this is a good like sample set test case, because I'm the guy who like wanted to be super private and wanted to like not put my stuff out on the internet for sure. But I had learned that. I think I had learned that in the corporate world. And so I grew up in the corporate world. After I got out of the military, I went into a Fortune 50 company. I learned that you go to work, you show up at work, and then when you get off, you're a different person or whatever.
Which one?
Right?
Which company?
State Farm is who I worked for years, 18 years, and at their corporate headquarters. And so I did a whole bunch of other shit while I was working there, obviously, or I'd be fucking 70 years old.
But no, I mean, not to down talk corporate America, because you learn a lot if you're in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah. I worked for Citibank for a few years. That fucking place was cool.
I'm a huge proponent of younger people going there because of the continuing ed available to you in those spaces. They have huge budgets for continuing education. They have huge budgets for research and development. If you're a young dude that wants to learn a lot of shit, the corporate world is a great place to be. And those skills parlay into business ownership or running a business for someone else as an entrepreneur. I tell the people I coach all the time to go hire people from those big conglomerates, because the guys don't really want to work for them. They'd rather work for a more agile, small company, but like you can't afford the continuing education that they've got over the last 5 or 10 years in that role. Yeah. And so, but my point though, about the social media side of things is you kind of went into that world. I'm talking like 2005 to 2015. You kind of went into that world and like you kept your private life private. And so when I opened my gym in 2011, I kind of separated myself from the gym and ran it like a corporation. And like we had cookie cutter fucking social media, but I wasn't ever present on them. There was no personalization to the whole thing at all. And that was a mistake that I executed on for probably 5 years till 2016, 2017. And I didn't have any social media presence until then at all.
Well, that's why you have like the Sean Whalens and the Ryan Stumans and they started in 2009, 2010 doing what we're doing now in 2021.
Yeah.
That's when I started, or 2019. And they have a decade to 15 years ahead of us.
Yep. And they got all that natural capital from doing that work.
Yep.
And so like that, yeah, it's just interesting to watch, but I think that it's super important. I still talk to people today in 2023 that are like they have the mindset of me in 2016. They're like, I don't need this. I've built a business to the point I want it to be, and like I'm going to disappear to the woods. I'm like, bro, you might be a millionaire, but you're not a fucking trillionaire. You ain't disappear into the fucking woods.
But like, that's okay, right? I mean, to each their own, I guess, bro. Because I don't want to end up where I'm here right now.
Yeah,
This is not my ride into the sunset. I don't know if I'll ever ride into the sunset, but right, this is not it for me. Like we're fucking going. We only get one shot at this.
Growth.
One. You're only here once.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make it fucking count.
I mean, I kind of understand the perspective of like wanting the simplicity of it, but like what you don't understand is the risk you're taking about the future. Like if a loaf of bread costs $100 in 10 years and you only have $1 million and you stopped running for 9 years because you just didn't want to, like you're going to be sorry in 10 years when a loaf of bread is $100. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
You're going to wish you kept that fucking flywheel turning the whole time because you don't want to slow down the momentum that you've built. And these guys are people that have built a business. I'm like, man, you have to have, like, why do you not want it to grow? If you put it in neutral, it's going to die.
Uh-huh.
And
like, what do they say? What's the common answer?
They don't believe me yet. They don't believe me yet. It's
not. What I've learned is, can't control what people think or say or do. So fuck it.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, and that's why I just go about my business and try to lead by example. Cause like, I think if people watch you enough, like it plants a seed in their head of what they should be doing. And like, I'm not saying everything I do is what I should be doing. I'm just saying my way is not necessarily the way. Like whatever your way is fucking great for you. But, the biggest complaint I have about business owners and all of them that I've worked with thousands, they all think they're different and they're not. And that's their biggest kryptonite. They're like, I don't need that because I'm different than X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, no, none of this is different. We've all been here before. Like,
right.
10,000 years ago, we were doing the same conversation. It was about different fucking shit.
It's about killing saber-tooth tigers back then.
Yes. It's just funny to watch, but tell me what you're most excited about going into 2014.
2024?
Yes, that's what I mean. 2024.
Let me remember 2014. How long ago was that? That was a decade ago. I was still an employee then. Man, I'm excited for the projects that we have going on. I'm excited, to see my kids grow up. My two youngest kids are growing up too fast. My daughter is going to college next year, so that's going to be exciting. I don't want her to go too far from home. I'm excited to see where our company can go in 2024, given all these projects that we have. And we're pushing. It's a push every single day. So growth, we've been in talks with PE firms in the past. Maybe that can play something in the future in 2024. So we have a lot of cool projects that are keeping us busy, and that, I sit back and like the other day, someone came in and they're like, wow, this place is impressive. Like, I don't get impressed coming in here anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to sit back and be grateful for where we're at. right?
Yeah.
Because it's the only way for that abundance to keep coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, don't entertain those PE fucking offers until the interest rates start dropping, baby. Let them get back in the force so they're throwing big checks out there. Come on. Come on. Call me. Call me if you need.
They're knocking on the door, baby. They're knocking on the door.
I get it. I get it. Clear those goggles off. They're blurry right now.
Yeah.
Man, I'm super excited about next year. I'm super excited about, like, I know that the perception is that like the economy sucks and all this other shit. The thing that I'm most thrilled about is like being surrounded by real estate investors and shit is it's fun because like when the money dries up, you watch how creative people can get, and it I mean, it's just this whole year has been fascinating to watch because I mean, the lending has been, the spigots have been completely turned off, and the fascinating things that you see going on, the deals that are getting done, the people who are actually charging forward still in the environment are who I want around me and who I like. That's who I want to be surrounded with. And so that part is fun. And even from a business owner standpoint, I really love getting around the people that are energized about this time, because I see this time as like, we're going to look back on the next 2 years as like our 2008, 2009 moments, and the people that kept on fucking running the ball during those periods of time came out 10, 20x ahead of where they started in 06. And
Hell
like,
yeah.
I think we're in that muddy mess right now, and the people that are still just out here making progress and making moves and taking risks and continuing to take up market share, we're going to be exponentially ahead of where we started in 2022, 2023. Like, we thought we were having some good times then. I think when we pop out of the back of this in 26, 27, like, those of us that kept on moving are going to be like miles ahead.
Bro, 2021 was a great year for us. 2021 was like, we were balling. But you know, something that my mantra right now, you only lose if you quit, baby. So there is no quit.
Yeah.
So, and plus we're getting older, bro. I'm getting older. Shit. 44 years old. I got to figure out.
I'm not?
I don't even know how many more years I have left, but if I live that way for the remaining 25, 35 years, I hear some people trying, I'm going to live 150. Like, good luck with that, fucker. But
I'm trying to get another 100.
Another 100?
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to do that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Start taking care of myself. Well, I mean, by start, I mean keep taking care of myself and then up the game.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going to be able to accomplish that. I'll believe it. I don't know if I'll be around to see it. So, but that's the way going forward. You know, it helps me make some decisions that I may, be stalling on. Like people say, midlife crisis. I guess that's my midlife crisis, because I think about death all the fucking time now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do too, man. I mean, I always have, though, since I was like 20. But like, it's the acceptance of it, and then moving forward, like the planning to have a really long runway, but knowing that today might be the day, like that's a different mindset. And like, that's the mindset I approach things with. Like, I look at my life like I've got a huge runway, and like, you look at all these dreams and these things you want to accomplish and the shit you want to buy and where you want to live and what you want to do and the experiences you want to give your kids. And for me, man, I'm 44 years old too. So like, we're the exact same age. Like, I truly believe that like there's absolutely nothing I can't do in the next 30 years. Like there's no reason I can't have all this shit. Like, I'm starting from a very good place. I'm not like penniless. It's not like I'm fucking 18 learning skills. Like, I've got skills. We've got capital. Like, and I've got a willingness to do it for fucking 50 more years. So like, why can't you have all that shit?
Exactly.
Like, literally, there's nothing that's out of reach if you're willing to reframe your mindset to be like, I'm going to do it for 50 years.
Yep.
And so like that part, I don't envy people that can't get there with their minds. Like, and because that's sad to an extent. Because I think that like the biggest thing everybody says when they're on their deathbed or whatever, right? It's the shit that they regret that they didn't do, the chances they didn't take. Like for me, man, like I'm just trying to play it full out the whole time and be like, fuck it. I'm gonna go out like with my hair on fire.
Exactly.
And,
But you're not going to do stupid shit, right?
right.
But I agree. That's the way. That is the way. And when I changed, everything can change when you change. And in 2017, I changed mentally, right? And everything changed for me. Everything changed. Like right now, there could be a total collapse of the economy, and I won't I won't quit, right? I'll figure it out.
Yep.
And that's it. And it's all up here, baby. It's all up here.
Doug wants us to talk about your investments. What have you been investing in recently?
Bro, not crypto, not NFTs. I mean, maybe I should have bought some Bitcoin because it's going up, but I'm done investing in things that I don't understand and that I can't, most of my investments right now are locked up, long-term investments that I made in 2021. Right now, everything is going back into my company.
Yep.
And I'm focusing on growing the company that we have that I know is a great product. And so I don't even think I could afford to go get any real estate right now with given the payments that you have to make if you have to get a loan and shit like that. And I was lucky in 2022 that I bought my house. The first interest rate that I got approved for was 9.5%. I said, hell no, I ain't buying that house at 9.5%, bro. I was paying my lease on the house that I live at was $2,300. You know what my monthly payment is right now with my mortgage and my escrow and my taxes? $4,500.
Damn.
It went from $2,300 to $4,500.
Yeah.
Because I decided to buy. And I don't know if Cardone is right or if he's wrong, but shit, just looking at the payments that I have to make every month, I'd rather go back to leasing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they can't lease it to you at a loss like that either. So, their rents
who
are
owned
going.
my house? It was somebody from mainland China.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You're invested in some apartment syndications too, right?
We put some money into Moonlight Villas.
Okay. How's that going?
Not good. Not good. Like there's no clarity. There's no. I mean, they're doing something to try to keep that shit afloat. But again,
where's that property located?
Florida.
Okay.
St. Augustine, I think, or close to St. Augustine.
Gotcha.
They invested with the wrong partners because apparently there's some legal battles going on now. Something that was supposed to be easy. Nothing is ever easy, but they sell it that way.
Yeah.
Turned out to be a shit show. So, but I've got some, I have some investments in like Everbowl Corporate.
Yep.
I didn't invest in an Everbowl store with the people that invested in that thing. So, but Everbowl's doing well. That's a long-term play. Everything I have is long-term. Like,
yep.
And there's got to be an exit, right? I don't have any cash flowing investments other than my own business. So I don't have all the investments I have are equity that is a long-term play. And if it plays out, it could be a 5X, 10X, 15X.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Well, I mean, it kind of does suck because, like, I mean, the 5X, 10X capital play is great, but like, I'm a cash flow guy, big time, because like that's really all that matters to me. But I like what you said about reframing your shit because I think I got caught up in. Well, I know I got caught up in the same fucking stuff over the past 15 months, if you will. Like, I made some dumbass moves and invested in some things. In some crypto deals and some like blockchain investments that the money just evaporated, of course. And
magically, these motherfuckers are magicians.
But I'm on the same train though. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Jeff? Like when I go to evaluate it, I'm like, business, you know how to sell, and you know how to do real estate. Like, why would you leave those verticals at all? And
Bro,
so
I bought a Walmart, a Amazon automation store. I basically just fucking lit $35,000 on fire.
I just had a guy call me and quit my inner circle group for he called me and told me he was going to put his money into an Amazon store, and he's like, I've got to just focus on this. I can't do real estate. And I'm like, bro, I understand. Good luck.
You need to go fucking save his ass. What are you doing?
Well, like of all the times to get into those fucking things, like now like you're on the trail end of the bad deal. Like the getting was good 3 years ago in that space. And so, yeah, I mean, I did some crypto stuff, mostly different crypto investments. And then I did another one that went completely south too. And a couple rug pulls. I probably lost 125 grand last year on
FX?
Yeah, I did that. I lost 60 on that one. And
I remember we were talking about that one.
Yeah. And
I remember we talked about.
I was letting it compound and letting it roll. I never even did a draw out of it.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough because I should have pulled my principal. Lesson learned.
Let me look, I got to go into that backstory because I remember our conversation and I know how they tried to sell it to me.
Yep.
And they were downplaying when I knew this guy was full of shit was when he said, I hate fucking real estate because you don't make any money. You make more money over here. I'm like, this guy's fucking full of shit. And that's when I said, sorry, I can't do this.
Yeah, he I don't know that he intended on it going south. But I mean, nobody does, right? That's the thing about those Ponzi schemes. Like,
come on, bro.
If you're on the front end of the Ponzi, you can make a lot of money without screwing over a lot of people. But if you're on the back end of the Ponzi, it's where you're at in the pyramid.
When you're when the Walmart automation guys are flying in private jets and living a lavish lifestyle, I was that didn't go off as a red flag to me back then.
Oh man, yeah.
You live and you learn, like you said. You live and you learn, buddy.
Yeah, I love what you said though about being focused on like doubling down on what you're talented in, and like I won't make that mistake anymore. It was a good smack in the face on like where I need to stay focused. So I mean, we're looking at buying 50 more houses in the next like 8 months, and so I've redirected my focus. I'm clear on what I'm good at. I'm just and with that 30-40 year trajectory, I'm smacking myself. I'm like, dude, just do what you do. Like, look at the fucking compounding effect of if you just stay focused for that period of time and don't deviate to all this dumb shit. Like, you can't stop that train. And
I agree 100%, 1000%. Hell yeah.
And I mean, that's the biggest lesson. If people always ask you like, what would you teach your young self, your 20-year-old self, stuff like that. Like, you don't know what you don't know, but like find something and grow your skill set and stay focused on it. Like, I mean, I would get in real estate and I would buy a property a year. And then like, even if you don't like real estate really, because you're going to have, at this point, if I started when I was 20, I would have 24 properties if I stayed on that trajectory. And then nothing more, nothing less. If you decide to get into it, you're ready to leap because you've got a portfolio of properties already. And shit, by that time, like some of your properties are paid off because they've been sitting there.
Imagine how much they're worth now.
Yeah, exactly.
20 years ago.
Exactly. So like we get overzealous and try to overcomplicate things. Yeah. And that's the way it is. We want it now.
Shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome. That was or we just plain stupid.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a little of both. But like, guys, this is, if anything, for the listeners, this is a good lesson that like you're sitting here with two people who have done some things, and we're telling you within the last fucking 16 months, 18 months, we've made some pretty egregious errors that are like rookie mistakes. And so
We were trying to hit home runs with a man on third, and all we needed was the freaking
sacrifice single.
Sacrifice fly, bro.
Yep. And so like just understand, no matter where you're at in your journey, like you are your biggest fucking competition. Usually what's between your ears is usually your biggest competition.
That's right.
Oh man. Well, dude, thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate you. You have any other thing you want to leave the audience with or want to talk about?
Just keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit.
I love that mantra too, dude. I love that mantra.
Lose if you don't quit. So
there's always a way, regardless of whatever. Like that's one thing I've learned over the years is that like, regardless of how dire your situation appears, like there is always a solution.
That's right.
And just like with your quitting analogy, like the only time you haven't run up against a solution to solve your problem is because you've quit looking for solutions.
Yes, sir.
And so I love that mantra for you. I subscribe to it myself. I hope others do as well, because as long as you just keep pushing forward and work on expansion and forgiveness of like whatever shit you did yesterday, like we're all making mistakes. That's why we're sharing some of the mistakes. If Pat and I sat here and fucking cried over spilled milk and lost focus because of what happened over the last few years with some sideways investments, we would be stealing the productivity of what we're doing moving forward. That's right. And neither of us is doing that. We're just focused forward with blinders on. So do the same, guys. Thanks for coming on, man. I know it was late notice. My wife told me to tell you hi, and we need to get together very soon.
Missed you guys. I miss you guys.
Yeah, same, brother. Same. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Tactical Empire.